So the markets love what Jerome Powell had to say today. They did start Fed tapering, and this is basically reducing the amount of mortgage-backed securities that they buy and Fed treasury bonds. We have a picture to go over this and clear the air for everybody, just exactly what this is and what this does imply as far as interest rates increasing and why the market is taking it good. We're going to talk about all of that, go over a small little article as well as a couple other statements Fed Jerome Powell did say that is giving us some guidance to go off of. If you guys seen, AMC was at about $38.95 per share before this meeting did start and this basically report came out. Now we're seeing a substantial bounce now at $40.48 per share, up about 4.5%. So the markets definitely like this. He is walking a narrow fine line and doing a great job of it. I think this is the last big catalyst that could have set AMC down heading into earnings. So I think the picture here incredibly bullish, and we're going to go over my price prediction for earnings. Keep in mind, this is only my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, not a financial planner, so always come to your own conclusions. As well as that, just go over the typical things that we usually do, the Ortex data, the Stocko tracker data, and the 13F filings to get a picture of the market sentiment around hedge funds and institutions regarding long and short positions in AMC stock. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into this video. Hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you guys want access to all of my trades in real time, we just hit a trade on Bank of America for about 60% profit just in the span of about 20 minutes. If you guys want access to all of that, check the link out for the buy and sell alerts in the description of this video. It pays for itself over and over again. And the official sponsor of this video is Moomoo. If you guys want 24/7 financial news, a lot of these headlines came through from Moomoo. If you can get the news faster than other people, that's where the money is made. 24/7 free financial news. You can't go wrong by doing that, as well as an investment community. You can source your ideas, get ideas from other like-minded investors, and full pre-market and after-hours trading. Deposit $100 with that link, get up to $350 in free stock, as well as a couple other stocks just for doing that with the link in the description. So let's get into this video. Like I said, AMC is up about 4.5%, seeing a solid bounce from the bottom before this Fed meeting at $40.52 as we do currently speak, and we were at about $44.21 per share earlier today. And this is really the level to be watching for, because this is the other level that we topped out back here October 19th. Fell all the way down to $33.90 per share on the low end, came right back up to $44, rejected off of that, but only came down to about, $38.95, but really staying above $40 for the most part. So if we can remain above 40 throughout the rest of this week, I expect to see a bullish reaction as people do buy the stock and buy the options heading into earnings coming on Monday. Because if you want to play AMC, you can really only get in this week. AMC earnings are after hours on Monday, so you could get in during the day on Monday, but you're going to see a lot higher premium. So especially if you're trading options, you're going to see the options contracts start to populate by the end of this week, as well as just people are going to be buying AMC for earnings, because why would you not? If you're a savvy investor, if you understand data, throughout all of 2021 AMC has had phenomenal returns after earnings, 2 to 4 weeks after earnings. I know I talk about this all the time, but I think it's very important to hammer home, and one of the biggest reasons I've been buying so much AMC, 60% return, 1000% return, and 100% return all throughout 2021 after earnings. So to see a negative result after earnings, especially AMC and Adam Aron expected to announce possibly a deal with GameStop, finalize them accepting cryptocurrencies, as well as multiple other things, starting a separate business line that could bring them a much higher valuation. All of that very exciting. I don't see AMC cratering after earnings. I think it's going to rally. That's why I've been buying more shares, really in the $35 to $36 range. That's where I really, went crazy buying the shares this last time around, but still right now, not a bad price in my personal opinion. Now, let's talk about Fed Jerome Powell, because that is all of the talk today. I did write a couple things down. So we're looking at possible full employment by second quarter and third quarter of 2022. He was asked if they do reach their goal of maximum employment by the second half of 2022, will they basically introduce a rate hike increase? And that's what the markets are pricing in with the Fed futures rates. And that's essentially what he confirmed. If the Inflation is high and we do get full unemployment second or third quarter of 2022 or fourth quarter, you will see a rate hike. And the markets are liking this just because they're putting a set and clear guidelines to go off of. The one thing the markets don't like more than anything else, more than bad news in general, is uncertainty. That's why the market sold off so hard back in 2020 when the pandemic broke out, because people didn't know if this would bankrupt half the businesses. We were seeing crazy articles once people realized it's not going to be as bad as people thought. It's not a super high mortality rate. That's when everything started to bounce back to life relatively shortly. And that's where I made a ton of money actually. But it says they're ready to react at a moment's notice and raise interest rates if things do start to change. If inflation starts to spiral and all these employers continue to increase basically give more bonuses and give higher wages, and we see inflation as well start to go much higher, then they are ready to raise interest rates at any time. And that's also what investors wanted to see, is essentially the Fed is not going to turn a blind eye to what is happening in the marketplace, because for a long time they said that inflation was transitory. Obviously it's not been transitory. They said transitory back in 2020. We're almost in 2022 and we're still seeing 5% inflation on the year, expected to be around 3.5% inflation next year. So that is the current situation. As far as tapering, if you guys are unaware, this is essentially since the pandemic started, the Fed has been buying treasury bonds, that's quantitative easing, essentially spending money and printing money, and mortgage-backed securities. This orange is mortgage-backed securities. They were buying $40 billion of those, and then to basically keep interest rates low, they were buying the treasury bonds, because as they do start to taper, the interest rates will start to go up a little bit. Obviously not as much as when they just do a full-on rate hike, but they will start to go up. So this is basically what is going on. The first time they will be doing this is in the month of December. And we're going to be looking at $10 billion less of treasury bonds and $5 billion less of mortgage-backed securities, all the way until June 2022, where they will be at about $15 billion for treasury bonds, and then about $4 to $5 billion of mortgage-backed securities, as this chart does show. A little bit less than $20 billion per month in securities, and then by July 2022, they will be down to basically nothing. They won't be doing any more quantitative easing. So that is the timeline. Looking at 6, 7, 8 months right here that you're going to see constant tapering rates. So if you guys are looking at mortgages or anything right now, probably the best time to be doing that, as interest rates will start to go up. So that is the current situation on what you guys need to know as far as the Fed is concerned. The meeting today, how investors are taking this positively. It's basically just to conclude why investors are taking it positively. To put it in simple terms, the Fed is being very clear, acknowledging inflation, and they have a plan to deal with it if it gets out of control, but they are not ignoring it. So that's really all you guys need to know. Let's jump into AMC. What is going on with the short interest and everything else? So as far as the Ortex data, we're looking at 16.69% short interest of free float, 85.36 million shares that are sold short. Still very, very high. Let's take a look at the volume on the day, and we are looking at 72, almost 73 million for volume. So still not a very high day as far as volume is concerned with AMC stock. We've had much higher volume days, even back here September 30th, 2021. Obviously just about a month ago, we were at 101.5 million for volume. So we still have to see this volume come back into the stock, and that will happen coming on earnings in my opinion. But to put that into perspective, the whole day's worth of volume today, plus an additional about 15 million shares that would have to be bought, that's a very high short interest. And not to mention, basically, the short sellers, I think they're using the January 21st, 2022 monthly or the option expiration date to hide the short interest. We know this has been happening. This is really the expiration that has a ton of open interest, where these contracts are very expensive. So I don't think we could possibly, buy enough of these contracts, about 400,000 contracts, multiple $100 per contract, to actually make this make sense. So I do think they're hiding a lot of short interest. So the short interest is probably a lot higher than that. Now, share utilization is at 87.63%, which is relatively unchanged. It's not high, it's not too low. Free flow on loan, 20.84%. So we do still have quite a bit, about 4% of the free flow out on loan that has not been sold short yet. That is either going to be returned or sold short into the open market. And I do think you are seeing some degree of shorting right now, but obviously, you know, smart money, not very smart. So it doesn't make sense to short AMC at the current moment, but they're not very smart, the hedge funds and institutions, so they may just be shorting AMC stock. That's like the stupidest thing you could do right before earnings. But hey, that's kind of what it looks like is happening for the day. Now, let's briefly talk about the stock tracker data because we already kind of went over it, but we are seeing the option chain starting to populate specifically around November 19th monthly expiration day. About 30,000 calls that are in the money, 160,000 calls that are out of the money. For this Friday, you are looking at the chance for a smaller gamma squeeze because you do see about 64,000 calls that are in the money, 125,000 calls that are out of the money. And just why I say a smaller gamma squeeze, because we do have, you know, 64,000 calls that are in the money. All of these will have to be hedged for. As long as we stay above $40, you're going to see a decent amount of hedging that has to happen by this Friday. So I do think you could push higher. Watch that $44 level, like we said. If we break out past that, looking incredible. If we just stay above $40, that's what I truly want to see heading into earnings on Monday. So that's the situation. Expect a, you know, medium to even very large size gamma squeeze on January 21st, 2022, but we will break that down more as we do get closer to that actual day. And finally, as far as the 13F filings, we are seeing more of these coming out today. You're seeing some firms that are selling out of their positions, but overwhelmingly high majority of firms still are holding on to their positions and buying more. 35,000 brand new share position, 178,000 brand new share position, and Asset Management One Co. Just bought about 218,000 shares in the last quarter alone. So very large positions, but still these average share prices on these long positions, you see $47, $47, $50, 47, 47, 47, 47, 47, 47, 46, 50, 47, 50, 47, 36, 36. I could keep going on and on and on, but it's, you know, relatively higher than the share price right now, and the fact that they are holding onto this shows a lot of bullish sentiment around AMC stock, and we're seeing a lot more inflows to the stock, more hedge funds and institutions buying the stock than hedge funds that are selling the stock. So overall, a big win. Tapering has started. Investors are loving this. So that is going to be all for this video. Check out the links for free stocks down below in the description of this video. Excuse me, got heartburn really bad. Guess I always have heartburn really bad, but like I said, basically all for this video. If you guys want access to all of my trades in real time, check out the link for the buy and sell alerts. We have been killing it over there. You guys, it pays for itself. So no pressure. If you guys want to be a part of that, definitely check that out. You can chat with me one-on-one as well. So that's all. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you in the next one.